Hello, Mandela, and welcome to your first science lesson of the week. Today, our learning objective is, can I begin to plan an investigation? This lesson is about learning how to work scientifically and plan an experiment which I will carry out for you in the next lesson. Recently, I heard Miss Gossage say that all metals are magnetic. I wasn't quite sure if that was correct. This is why I thought let's plan and carry out an investigation to check whether this hypothesis is correct. I want you to think of your answers to these questions so you can tell Mr. Fox here the answers. Our first question is, what does working scientifically mean? Pause the video so you can tell Mr. Fox what you think the answer is. Let's find out what the answer to our first question was. This means using the processes of science, questioning, experimenting, reasoning, evidence, and analysing data. Let's ask Mr. Fox another question. Why do we need to make a plan? Pause your video and tell Mr. Fox why you think we need to make a plan. Let's see why it is important to make a plan. It tells you the process of the investigation, why you are doing it, what you want to find out, and what you will need. And our final question for you to think about and to tell Mr. Fox the answer to is, why do we need to work systematically? Working systematically means we've got a fixed plan or a fixed system that we stick to. Pause your video and tell Mr. Fox the answer to the question. Let's see what the answer to the question is. It is to reduce the amount of problems which may happen. If there is a system, you will get better results. What do you think these words mean? We're going to learn these words using my turn, your turn. Aim, aim, aim. Let's find out what the aim is. And this means what we are trying to find out in our experiment or investigation. Let's try our next word, prediction, prediction, prediction. Let's find out what a prediction is. A prediction is when we think about what will happen in our experiment or investigation. Our next word is method, method, method. The method is how you will carry out your investigation. Let's find out about our next word, resources, resources, resources. What do you think the resources are? The resources are the equipment that you will use in your experiment or investigation. Our next word is variable, 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 variable. The variable is something that can be changed in our investigation. Fair test, fair test, fair test. What do you think a fair test is? A fair test is something that stays the same throughout our investigation to make it fair. Results, results, results. What do you think the results are? The results are what you observe and what you see happen in your experiment or investigation. Conclusion, conclusion, conclusion. Let's find out what the word conclusion means. The word conclusion is helping us to see what we have found out by carrying out our investigation. And our final word is evaluation, 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 evaluation. And evaluation means when we think about everything that we have done. Was it a fair test? What went well or not so well? What could you investigate next time? Let's find out a little bit more about our investigation. Here's some information about our investigation. The reason I'm carrying out the investigation is to prove to Miss Gossage that she was wrong when she said all metals are magnetic. For this investigation, I will be using 5 types of metal. So I'll be using steel and paper clips, aluminium, a Coke can, nickel, keys, copper, a 1p coin, iron, some tools. My investigation will be fair because the metal sizes and the magnet will be the same. However, the changed variable will be the type of metal. I will carry out this investigation by holding the magnet near the object to see if it attracts. Now that we've been through each step of an investigation and looked at how I will carry it out, our task is to plan the experiment. On the next slide, I will show you what our experiment sheets will look like. There are 2 pages. However, today we are just going to look at the first page. So this is what our first page of our investigation looks like. It's got the heading for our investigation, which is working scientifically. Then we've got some subheadings. So aim of investigation. And this is where we write a sentence to say what we are trying to find out. Then we have another subheading. This subheading says prediction. And in this space here, we will write what we think will happen. Then we move on to our method. So how we are going to carry out our experiment. This box here is a place for us to draw a diagram to show what we are going to do in our investigation. We will be completing this page in our next lesson. We will be writing our results, so what we saw happening in the experiment. Then we will be writing our conclusion to say what we have found out. Finally, you will write an evaluation. Was it a fair test? What went well or not so well? And what could you investigate next time? So now we are going to grab some paper and be ready to write our investigation. The first thing I need to do is write the heading for my investigation, and I'm going to write that at the top of my piece of paper. And the title, the heading for my investigation is Working Scientifically. Once I've written the heading, I am going to get my ruler and I am going to underline it. Then I'm going to misalign and write my first subheading, which is aim of the investigation. And in this section, we write what our aim is for our investigation. Once I've written my subheading, I need to underline it. Then I need to write in a sentence. So I'm going to start my sentence with the aim of the investigation is. You need to have a go at finishing the sentence for me. Pause the video, write what I've written, and have a go at finishing the sentence. So let's recap on what the aim of our investigation was. So the aim of this investigation is to find out if all metals are magnetic or not. I need to check I've got my full stop at the end of my sentence. Then I skip a line once I've written my aim, and I'm going to write a new subheading which says prediction. And the prediction is when we think about what will happen in our investigation. Once I've written my subheading, I need to underline it. Then I need to write a sentence. I predict that. So you've got to use your knowledge of magnets to make a prediction for our experiment. I want you to pause the video, write the subheading prediction, and then I want you to write your prediction in a sentence. So my prediction is, I predict that not all metals are magnetic. Then I need to leave a line and write my subheading method. Once I've written the word method, I need to underline this. And in the method, I'm going to write about the variables that I will keep the same. So we'll remember back to our introduction when we thought about the things that we would be keeping the same. I'm going to write a sentence. The variables that I will keep the same are. Then I'm going to use bullet points, and I want you to write down 2 things that we were going to be keeping the same in our experiment. Pause the video and begin to write the method section of your investigation. So the things that we are going to keep the same are the magnet used, and we're going to make sure that all the metals are the same size. The next thing I need to do is think about the variables that I will change. So that is the thing that we are going to change in our experiment. So I will write a sentence to say, I will change. Then I just need 1 bullet point here. Pause your video and write what you will change. So the variable that we are going to change is the type of metal. Then we are going to draw a box. So I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to measure from my margin across 16 centimetres. Then I'm going to draw a line going down that is 6 centimetres. Then I'm going to draw a line going across that is 16 centimetres. Oops, that's a bit of a wobbly line. Try and make sure that yours is nice and straight. And then I'm going to draw a line to join up my two boxes, which will also be 6 centimetres. In this box, we are going to draw what we will need for our experiment. So pause the video and draw what you need for your experiment. We will need a magnet. So I'm going to draw my magnet with my North Pole and my South Pole. And I'm going to label it magnet so I know that that is what we are using in our investigation. Then we will use the metal. So I'm going to draw a paper clip for this. So here is my paper clip and I'm going to label that metal. Once we've drawn our diagram for our experiment, we need to write a sentence to describe what we are doing. So my sentence is going to be, we are going to hold, oh, let me move my book up a little bit so you can see it. We are going to hold a magnet near to different types of metal to see if the magnet will attract them. Once you've written your sentence to describe what you are doing, you need to take a picture of your work and upload it onto Tapestry.